Michael Jordan, as a professional athlete, not in high school, not in college, as a professional athlete, started every single practice with a chest pass, with a basic chest pass. Now you're talking about the best basketball player to ever play. And every single practice, he wasn't out, didn't go out there and dunk and didn't go out and do, do all these the fantastic moves that he's known for, or shoot jump shots or do all this stuff. Something even more basic than a free throw, a chest pass. Dwyane, Kobe, Michael, all the other individuals that I've worked with, they were so obsessed with mastering the fundamentals. They had to master the fundamentals. And they understood that, like, hey, listen, before I can become great, before I can become this unstoppable individual, every single year, I have to make sure I've mastered average. And once I've mastered and caught average, then I need to catch and master good. Once I can do that, then I can start chasing greatness. Everybody always says, I just want to start chasing greatness right away. Well, if you don't have the basics and you don't have the fundamentals every single year, you're never going to close that gap between average and great. That's what those individuals do. And, it's a great example. I'm talking about from a sports standpoint, but also from the business clients that I work with, it's the same thing. That's what routines are about. Routines create that foundation. They create that base, in football, basketball, baseball, that foundation base of how you place your feet is so important to your success. And it's the same way in business.
Yeah, I think people assume that the way to progress is by getting into greater levels of complexity or sophistication or nuance. But in reality, the things that produce the results are the fundamentals, and in business, a simple example is really doubling down on quality of communication or management or leadership versus toying with very complex, seemingly sophisticated strategies based on whatever it may be, market dynamics or otherwise. So it's a really good principle, I think, to know that the fundamentals will always be disproportionately impactful for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve and what the fundamentals are within that discipline or area. It also reminds me of the notion of deliberate practice and Anders Ericsson's work on deliberate practice and the power of identifying fundamentals and training them consistently, intentionally, repeatedly with a focus on improvement and conscious effort. And his core idea in Ericsson's work and research is that repetition alone does not necessitate improvement. You have to actually bake in more sophisticated mechanisms to the repetition, like feedback, for example, in order to actually improve. And I imagine that is something else that you witnessed, was that there's a very high level of intentionality and a very significant emphasis on being deliberate when practicing and attempting to master the fundamentals.
Exactly. I mean, listen, everything these individuals do, everything I know of the high successful individuals, the high achievers, and not just in, I'm not just talking about financially, I'm talking about whatever they do. Everything is done for a reason. Everything is done for a person. They're just not out there. They're just not out there winging it. It's funny. You get these individuals that you'll ask them a question and they say, I guess. I don't need you to guess. I need you to know. I can guess on my own. So these individuals that we're talking about that have the purpose, that have that identity, that know what their foundation is, that know what their fundamentals are, and know how to achieve those things and how to implement those things to constantly continue to get better and better and better, and know that when things don't work, you can always go back to the fundamentals. You can always go back to the basics. And if those are so strong, you'll be able to overcome anything.
If what you've heard on Flow Research Collective Radio has been helpful, please consider doing us a solid and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to this. Reviews help us connect to a wider audience so we can get these peak performance principles out to more people.